Hey everybody, Mike Miller with the Herald-Times, coming to you from Rutgers High Point Solutions Stadium here in Piscataway, New Jersey. I always mix those two up, Piscataway, New Brunswick. I think they're right next to each other. I don't know. I think it's Piscataway. It's Piscataway is the date line. Anyway, coming to you here after a 33-27 Indiana win over the Scarlet Knights, a game that, frankly, aside from the win, was probably pretty forgettable for a lot of folks. A lot of turnovers, 4 of them, 2 interceptions by Richard Lego. There was a fumble by Xander Diamant that went for, I think, a 75-yard scoop and score early on. Kickoff right to start the second half. Devontae Williams fumbles a ball that was got kind of caught up in the wind. The wind knocked it back to around, 15-yard line, 20-yard line, thereabouts. Devontae Williams couldn't make the catch, and Rutgers recovered his fumble. 4 plays later, they're in the end zone. Just a really sloppy day, and that's to say nothing of the kicking unit, which was just flat out just really bad. It is apparently a confidence issue. Kevin Wilson says with kicker Griffin Oakes. There's also an issue right now with holder Joseph Gedeon. Both those guys just weren't getting it done. That whole unit really is just not getting it done. Protection was bad, and just the kicks are missing. The holds are not getting down. I think I counted 3 misses. I think it was 11 points left on the field by the kicking unit today. Oaks missed field goals of 54, 20, and 42 yards. A couple extra point-after attempts again were botched. So that's a unit that really has to figure itself out over the next 3 weeks, or only 3 weeks left. And that unit absolutely has to get better. The good news is this is a win, and that should mean something, no matter what fashion it comes. Again, only 3 weeks to go in this season. Indiana only needs 1 more win to get that, the 6th win for bowl eligibility. So a lot to monitor here down the stretch. The next few weeks, Penn State comes to Bloomington next week, followed by a trip to Michigan, and we wrap it all up with the Old Oak and Bucket game against Purdue. Got to give a lot of credit to Indiana's receivers today, and I think the biggest play of the game was not even it was made by a receiver, but it wasn't made in the air. It was made on the ground. It was Ricky Jones falling on a fumble by Tyler Natey right around the 10-yard line thereabouts. About 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I think Indiana was still trying to put this one away, and Natey fumbles the ball, and I guess just instinctively Jones sees it, jumps on it, falls on it. Guys are jumping on top of him, yelling, "I got it, I got it, I got it." Meanwhile, he's saying it. He was kind of laughing, thinking, "Man, I know I have it, so it's our ball." I don't know what these guys are talking about, but that was a huge play. And the next play, Indiana's lining up on the Rutgers 10, and a nice little swing pass. Divine Redding gets out of the backfield and catches a pretty well thrown ball from Richard Lego and scores, and that sealed, or at least protected, Indiana's win here today. And just in general, the receiving play was pretty darn good today. There was some... Lego was okay. 28 for 40, 2 interceptions, also threw 3 touchdowns, 394 yards. He benefited a lot, I think, from just a receiving group that really, really thrived in making some one-on-one plays. Nick Westbrook was outstanding. Mitchell Page had some nice plays. Ricky Jones was just awesome. That guy came to play, and he played all game. Just a really, really impressive performance from Ricky Jones. He actually had Indiana's second touchdown. I think it was about 36 yards. He's going over the middle, kind of dodges a defender, and then reverses course and goes the opposite way for a touchdown. Sprinted in there. I don't even think he was touched going down after he dodged the tackle. So that was impressive. Camion Patrick made his first touchdown reception, and it was a beauty. If you didn't watch this game, you've probably already seen it on one of the highlight shows. If you haven't, you probably will fairly soon. It was an awesome play, another one-on-one play that Kevin Wilson's really been asking for in recent weeks, and that certainly typifies what we've heard about Camion Patrick as a really athletic, strong receiver on the outside. It was a 40-yard touchdown grab. He runs down and makes a really nice play, leaping in the air, kind of repositioning himself to make the catch over his defender. And he did so right around the pylon, and he was in there for the score. Um, Defensively, once again, Tom Allen's unit positioned Indiana well. I think they had 11. I think they're Indiana's counting 11 3-and-outs. I think maybe more accurately, it might have been 9. I gotta check that. But I mean, they just totally stopped Rutgers from really doing anything in the second half. I mean, Rutgers is just a hapless football team right now. There's no other way to put it. They don't have a running game. They don't really have a really consistent passing game. But I will say this. I thought Indiana's defensive line did a really, really solid job of pressuring new Rutgers quarterback Gio Ricchino. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Did a really good job just chasing him, making him throw difficult passes. And there were a couple of them that were very difficult, and they were actually completed, so you got to tip your cap. But just I think a really solid day for Indiana's defense. Marcelino Ball got turned around, kind of shifted the wrong direction on a 68-yard touchdown reception by Andre Patton on it was Rutgers' first score of the game early in the first quarter. It might have been Ball's worst play of the season, but I think the rest of the way was pretty darn solid. He blew up a couple plays, and I think he finished as the co-leader with 9 tackles for this Indiana side. So, again, defensively, that unit continues to position Indiana well, keeping them in games and really propelling them to the finish line, which is what we saw today. And credit Indiana's offense making some plays when they just needed to most, and that's what we saw both with the fumble recovery. Divine Redding had a long touchdown run of 34 yards that was just blocked very well. Blocking in general wasn't very good today. A bit of a different look offensive line. Dan Feeney made his first career start at right tackle. Jacob Bailey was reinserted at right guard, which is where he played for, I think, 4 games while Dan Feeney was out with his concussion earlier this season. So Wilson was just saying, with Brandon Knight being out, don't know how long Brandon Knight's going to be out as Indiana's right tackle, but with his absence, Feeney is the next best option as a tackle, and it's something that Wilson's really thrown around a little bit throughout the year, really even going back to spring ball, just toying with the idea of, maybe lining up Feeney at left tackle if that wasn't working out with Coy Cronk. Or, again, as we see here, there's a need at right tackle with Brandon Knight unable to go with his leg injury, so you insert him there. And he didn't play the whole game at right tackle. He probably played, I'm not even sure. I probably shouldn't say it. But I thought it might have been like a quarter and a half. I should go back. I'll check it when I watch the film again. But he also he shifted back to right guard. But by and large, though, the offensive line kind of struggled today. It just didn't. The running game just never got going. The bacon and legs wildcat package was. It had its moments, maybe I should say. Xander Diamant's game-opening 59-yard touchdown run was one of them. That actually had some great blocking on it by Danny Friend. I think Wes Martin got over and got his hands on somebody, and Dan Feeney did the same. Really well-executed blocking on Xander's 59-yard run. But little else from that package the rest of the way. Actually, Kevin Wilson called it the fat bacon package just because they really weren't doing a whole lot, weren't going anywhere. So he actually said, "Hey, don't tweet that, don't tweet that." I think he was kidding. Yeah, that's something Indiana's going to have to weigh moving forward when they can use that. I think it serves a purpose. It has a purpose, and I think we could continue to see it in different moments, or at least variations of it. You want to find a niche for Nate T to have moving forward, and obviously he's a guy who, as we saw at least once earlier this year, I think it was the Michigan State game, we can maybe even pull out an option to let him throw the ball too. I still, I see Xander Diamant continuing to be a part of this offense. He still just gives you a jolt as he did today. I think there's definitely a role for him to occupy, alternating some of the snaps with Richard Lego, who, as ugly as this game was in the second quarter, he had his second interception was really bad. It was just a quick throw. He locked onto his guy. The dude who intercepted that one, oh man, don't have his name in front of me. It was a good play by the Rutgers DB, I'll say that. But also it was another instance, I think we've seen it a lot this year, frankly, is just not going through his progressions very well. It seems like some of these interceptions he's had are instances where quick throws, locks onto a guy, poof, the ball's gone. that was bad. But I thought in the second half he shaped up and played stronger. I mean, it's another good stat day for him for sure. He made some really nice throws too, throws that his receivers made equally great grabs to pull down. But by and large, it was just an uneven day. This is an uneven Scoop Talk. So I guess we'll leave it at that. 33-27, Indiana now has 5 wins. Again, they return to Bloomington to host Penn State next Saturday. As I record this, I have not yet seen a time for that game. As I understand, we should be getting a time for that soon. It may have already come. I've been churning out the copy here the last couple hours. But stick with us. We will let you know of a kickoff time for that game as soon as we know it. Jeremy Price is at Assembly Hall tonight covering Indiana's exhibition finale against Bellarmine. You'll get his recap later on, too. So with that, thanks, guys, for watching. I am heading home. See ya.